To be Jito, it's to study what? Right? And it's obviously very humbling to hear that, right? To hear people, say things like that, because clearly they appreciate the work we're doing, and we don't take it to our heads, right? When you guys, your kindness, your love, your support, know that it's appreciated, and we treat it with humility, because at the end of the day, we are servants, we work for you. Now the answer to the question of what does it take either to be a presidential advisor or to even be in my role, I'll speak for myself. Now, my journey began some years back where, I was fortunate. I studied actually in political science, right? And political science has elements of legal frameworks, economics, international relations. It's a very interesting course. Not to say that was the key qualifier for the role, because what that did is it set a foundation for me. And the reason I got into that program is really because I wanted to understand how society works. And I've always shared with you guys a story about the thing that always drives me, looking at poverty in our communities. Even from the time I was young, I would always see the fact that I was privileged to go to school in a vehicle, and there were many kids who went to school barefoot. And that to me led me to push to see how can I learn how to be in a position where I can make a difference. That's what pushed me into political science. But what actually made my career was actually finance, which was a very interesting pivot. Meeting people within the financial space, networking. I had an internship where I was studying in Canada, working at a financial firm. And that's where I started to be, appreciative of the financial ecosystem and how much impact it has on society. I recognize that when you have access to capital, or you create an environment where capital is available, you can create jobs, you can improve people's lives. And I started to research, not only through the working environment that I was in, I started to take up courses in accounting, courses in investments. And of course, when I moved back home, I also took up a course at the time it was called ZIBIC. I think the name has changed. The Zambia Insurance Business College Trust, and they used to certify investment advisors. I took that course, and then later on I went and did an MBA. And that also helped strengthen my knowledge in finance. But also working as a partner in a financial institution, I think was key, because you have to build up your experience. Experience is very important beyond education. And the thing I need to really help you understand is education is purely just a foundation to prove that you are literate, that you can think, you can reason. But what matters is some of the things that you learn outside of education. Can you network? Can you communicate effectively? Can you reason? Are you logical? Are you hardworking? These are things you don't really learn at school, right? And one underrated superpower for many successful people is networking, knowing people, getting to build relationships with people who can get you through the door. What gets you to become in a very senior position in various organizations is it's one thing to look at a CV, but it's another thing to know who is Jito, or who is Jane, who's Violet, who's Timothy. They need to know who you are from a character perspective. And if people can vouch for you based on your character, based on your integrity, your reputation, that will get you through. So we all have a different journey, but I have one more thing I need to tell you as to what truly makes me who I am. It's the grace of God. And I kid you not, I trust Him so much with all my heart. He has done so much for me. And even at times when I was feeling like I was not the most, capable at various levels in my life, He came through, putting the right people in my life. It was completely serendipitous. The meaning of that word is you have situations that are coincidental, accidental, if you will, things that you don't control. And that is what put me in the right rooms in some instances and made me meet people like President Hichilema before he was president, right? And that is not something you can study. How do you meet a person who's going to be the president one day, who one day call upon you to serve in his government? So it's things of that nature that makes you. Now, all of you who are watching this, you all have a different journey, right? So think about how you can create value. What drives you? What is your purpose? I did mention my purpose, being part of improving the lives of people who are living in poverty, and I aligned my vocation, my skill sets around that. And I need to tell you, beyond, of course, having belief in God, there's nothing bigger than that, and faith in God. Have a positive attitude. You'll be amazed how There's a famous saying, in fact, my mentor first told me this, that your attitude determines your altitude. So have a good attitude and watch how high you fly.